Hello, I'm Caitlin with Fragrance University. In this course video, we'll take a look at the different bases used in cold processed soaps. There are many cold processed soap recipes out there, so you may be wondering about the importance of each of their elements. Before we get into it, let's define what we mean by base. In the soap industry, a base often refers to melt and pour soap bases that are color and fragrance ready, like we talked about in our last video. Sometimes a base can even refer to the substance used that causes the chemical reaction of saponification to make soap. These are sometimes called bases because they are basic on the pH scale. However, for the purpose of this video, the bases we're referring to are the fatty acid-containing ingredients that react with aqueous lye to make soap. These ingredients have been derived from many sources throughout soap's history, but nowadays they are mostly sourced from components of various plants. Olive oil has been used in soap making for centuries. It is a staple in the industry because of its variety of different forms and uses. Olive oil is made by crushing or pressing olives. Virgin olive oils are derived from olives that have been pressed several times, whereas extra virgin olive oil is obtained after the first press. This gives virgin olive oil its flavor and aroma, as well as the slow trace and soft bar of soap. Refined olive oil is also made with crushed olives that is then chemically treated to remove impurities in the oil, reducing its natural flavor and aroma in the process. Pure olive oil is a blend of this refined oil and virgin olive oil. Finally, pomace olive oil, or sometimes simply called pomace, is not made through the crushing of olives, but instead various chemical treatments that extract the oil from the olive pulps with solvents. This type of olive oil retains none of the olive smell or taste. Each of these can be used to make soaps with varying outcomes. Virgin, pure, and refined olive oils will allow a slower trace and softer bar of soap. Pomace, on the other hand, traces faster and makes bars firmer. A benefit of pomace is that it's much more affordable than virgin and pure olive oils, so it's a great place to start if you're on a low budget at the beginning of your soap making journey. Olive oils of all kinds will create a rich and creamy bar with a silky lather. They can be used up to 100% in your soap, meaning you do not have to use other oils in your recipe. A recipe with 100% olive oil is known as Castile soap and will slow down the curing time of the soap. It can take months for a full olive oil soap recipe to fully harden. That being said, olive oil works great in conjunction with other oils, so the percentage can be lowered to include harder oils to firm up your soap. Recipes with high amounts of olive oil are highly conditioning and low cleansing. Olive oil's SAP value is 0.135 grams per gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.19 per gram of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. Coconut oil is another staple in soap making and used in many different applications in the health and beauty industry. Derived from the meat of the kernel of the coconut palm, this oil comes in many different forms. Unrefined coconut oil is made when the meat is either milled while it's wet or pressed while it's dry. From here, the coconut oil can be derived. Unrefined coconut oil retains the natural flavor and odor of the coconut, but is generally considered unideal for the use in soaps. Refined coconut oil is also derived from the coconut meat that is then treated with bleach that removes contaminants and then exposed to high heat. This process removes the taste and smell of the coconut from the oil. Both refined and unrefined coconut oil comes in a solid form with a melting temperature of either 76 or 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Fractionated coconut oil has been put through a chemical process that removes certain fatty acids that makes the coconut oil solid at room temperature. This makes it liquid at all times, but it's not ideal for use in soaps because it will make your bars too soft and mushy. Refined coconut oil with a melting point of 76 degrees is popular with most soap makers. However, those who live in exceptionally warm climates often use 92-degree oil, so it does not melt from simply sitting around the house. Coconut oil produces large foamy bubbles when it's used in cold processed soap, which give bars made with it their superior cleansing abilities. However, it's because of this lather that soap made with high levels of coconut oil can be drying for those who have sensitive skin. It's recommended to limit your levels of coconut oil if you want your bar to retain its moisturizing properties. As such, 15% coconut oil is a great level to use if you want your bars to be cleansing but not excessively drying. Its SAP value of either melting point refined coconut oil is 0.178 grams per gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.269 per gram of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. Palm oil is another fatty acid containing ingredient for use in cold processed soaps. Palm oil is commonly found in so many products because of how productive it is. More palm oil can be derived from less land than any other vegetable oil. It is derived from the pulp of the fruit that grows on palm trees. It should not be confused with palm kernel oil, made with the kernels of said fruits. Like coconut oil, palm oil is solid at room temperature. Unlike coconut oil, palm oil must be melted in its entire quantity, even if you only need to use a fraction of it. If the entire batch of palm oil is not melted, the fatty acids will not be distributed evenly. It has a melting point of 95 degrees Fahrenheit. When used in cold processed soap, Palm oil makes firm bars and assists in lathering when paired with coconut oil. Palm oil can be used up to 33% in your cold processed soaps. This makes it a great oil to use in conjunction with softer, more nourishing oils that give you a versatile blend. The SAP value of palm oil is 0.14 grams per gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.22 gram of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. Unrefined palm oil, referred to as red palm oil, features an orangish-red hue. It can color your soap orange without the use of any colorant. Red palm oil can be used up to 33% in cold processed soaps, although this should be adjusted if you want to avoid staining your molds or skin. Palm kernel flakes, another fatty acid ingredient derived from palm trees, are also appropriate for use in soaps. They also create a thick lather and firm bar of soap. Because it has the same SAP value of 0.178 as coconut oil, it's a good substitute for those with sensitivities to coconuts. On the other hand, palm kernel flakes cannot be used as palm oil substitutes because they feature different SAP values and create different feeling bars of soap. Palm kernel flakes can be used up to 15% in cold processed soap. Any more and the bars would be too firm and brittle. It has an SAP value of 0.178 grams to 1 gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.27 per gram of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. Next, sunflower oil is a lightweight and nourishing oil derived from the seeds of the sunflower. The oil can be extracted from the seeds using an expeller presser in cold conditions to make cold-pressed unrefined sunflower oil. It's also obtained through the use of chemical solvents, followed by bleaching and other processes to refine it and remove some of the natural smell and taste of the sunflower seeds. Sunflower oil is a great component to many cold processed recipes because of the skin-loving lather and conditioning it provides. It's chock full of vitamin E and nourishing fatty acids that leaves the skin feeling soft and moisturized. Sunflower oil also helps slow down trace, meaning it's great for use in swirl and design soaps. Please note that sunflower oil has a relatively short shelf life in comparison to other oils, so it should be kept refrigerated. Although sunflower oil can be used in cold processed soaps up to 100%, the bar will be very soft and difficult to unmold. As such, it's generally recommended to limit usage to 25% in conjunction with other oils like coconut or palm oil that will firm up the bar. Sunflower oil has an SAP value of 0.13 grams to 1 gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.21 per grams of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. Babassu oil, derived from the seeds of the fruit-bearing babassu palm tree native to South America, is another coconut or palm oil substitute. The oil of the babassu fruit is obtained through the various pressing methods. It presents similar firming properties to coconut and palm oil, as well as fluffy lathering and cleansing abilities. It also presents itself as a solid in room temperature conditions with a melting point of 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Babassu oil exhibits a more lightweight feel on skin that absorbs quickly without leaving any oily residue behind. It can be used at the same level of up to 33% as coconut or palm oil with no formulation problems. It also has the same SAP value of 0.178 in bar soap and 0.27 in liquid soap. Borage oil is another seed-obtained oil. It comes from the seeds of the borage plant, otherwise known as the star flower because of its blue star-shaped flowers. Borage oil is known for its incredibly rich fatty acid components, lending it great for use in soaps that need a hydrating element. It's often used to soothe various inflammatory skin conditions, such as eczema, because of its proposed healing properties. Borage oil is liquid at room temperature and procured through the process of cold pressing borage seeds. This oil can be used up to 33% in cold processed soap recipes. Any more and the bar would be too soft and sticky. It has an SAP value of 0.14 grams per gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.2 per gram of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. Finally, canola oil is a widely accessible and affordable option for use in cold processed soap recipes. It features very little color or aroma after the pressing and refining process that the canola plant goes through. Canola oil is liquid at room temperature and is rich in vitamin E and fatty acids. It features many of the same characteristics in soap as olive oil and will produce a thick and creamy lather. Because it can be used up to 40% in your cold process recipes, it's a great inexpensive choice for beginner soap makers to try. Many recommend limiting its use to around 20 to 25%, as too much of it without the presence of a firmer oil can make your bars soft and sticky. It helps to slow trace, meaning it can be helpful in making swirls and other designs. Canola oil has an SAP value of 0.133 grams per gram of sodium hydroxide in bar soap and 0.186 per gram of potassium hydroxide in liquid soap. An important note that you should make regarding any oils you use in your cold processed soaps is their shelf life. While oil and fat products do not grow mold or rot, they can turn rancid once they've expired. A rancid oil product will have a strong bad smell, Closely observe the shelf life of any products that you use to avoid using rancid oils or butters in your soaps. This covers most of the ingredients that can take up at least a third of your cold processed fatty acid recipes. Aside from these, there are dozens of other oils and butters that can be included in your soaps that provide various hydrating, humectant, and lathering properties. The ones you use are entirely up to you and the kinds of bars you want to make. For example, cocoa butter pastilles and wafers only need to be added to your bars at 15% to give them an incredibly soft and luxurious feeling. Many of these other oils and butters can only be used in your recipe anywhere between 5 to 20%, so make sure you're including enough components in your oil recipe to ensure the bar is not too soft or hard. A good recipe to follow when you're just starting out is a 34-33-33 ratio: 34% olive oil, 33% coconut oil, and 33% palm oil. If you need help formulating your own blend, start by picking out 1 or 2 base oils that can be used at 20 to 30%. From there, you can fill in the percentage gaps with the other oils that will provide your soap with the characteristics you want. Just remember to keep them balanced. Now that we've gone over some of the oil and butter bases, we'll be taking a look at how you can modify your cold process recipes to change how they ultimately come out. Keep watching Fragrance U for information on super fatting, water discounts, and gel phase. Until then, I'm Caitlin, and thank you for watching. We'll see you real soon. Bye!